All right, guys, welcome to the June 10th edition of AEW Dynamite. We are your host, Nikazoid, a.k.a. Arrow.
And this is your boy, AEW Fizz, known as J Fizzle.
And this is the infamous, the man that you love to hate. This is independent wrestler OB Times, a.k.a. Blue. What's going on, people?
What's going on, everybody? So, Fizz, since this is your show, we're going to let you start off things with a recap of what happened to start the show.
All right, so let's talk about this spectacular opener that we had here, the showcase that they allowed to feature at the very beginning. So this was the debut of FTR's first match, formerly known as the Revival in WWE, but we're going to go ahead and push that name to the side because this ain't about WWE, this is about AEW. They were against Butcher and Blade. So it looks like FTR have this new entrance where they're coming in their vehicle, and basically showcasing that they are the ones who follow the rules. This match, for me, they had a nice feature of technical wrestling to me. Like, I felt like this was a wrestling match. And we know they were formerly known as Revival, but now FTR, that they have really good wrestling skills to me inside the ring. Chris Jericho was on the announce table, so he had a lot of funny jokes that he expressed. One of the things he expressed that FTR are the Smash Mouth style of wrestling. They also have the meat and potatoes that is needed for AEW. So FTR is now challenging everyone in the tag that they are the best, to the point where they actually beat Butcher and Blade. The match itself was really good because Butcher and Blade, to me, actually are a good team on AEW.
Which is why it's unfortunate that they keep losing, though.
I agree.
Yeah.
They did beat down some black folks when they was in AEW Dark, so we can't forget. You're not going to forget about that.
We'll get there because I agree with you there, for real. But there was two highlights for the show for me. The two highlights, they did some form of suplex flying elbow, which to me was a splash. It wasn't an elbow, but that's what they said on the announce table.
Yeah.
But then it was a kick out. But then they finished off with their actual move. Well, actually, no, it wasn't an actual move. It was a assisted top rope power driver.
And they named it in honor of good old Jim Cornette and the Midnight Express.
Midnight Express. I like that. See, it grew on me as soon as I heard it. It was actually pretty good.
The Good Night Express. I love it.
Yeah. One thing I want to say about the match, I'm not going to dig too much into this. Fizz really, he nailed it. It was a great tag team match. Two things. I love the outside setting that they got going on. WWE, take notes on that. Second off, I love that even though they're still using the wrestlers as crowd members, what I like is that they showed people scouting. So it didn't just feel like we're watching the match because we don't have an audience. We're watching this tag team to see what they bring. We're watching these matches. It really made it feel like the matches meant more because you saw people, talking to each other. You saw Arn Anderson with the notebook taking notes. Like, that really made the wrestlers feel significant. Like, there was a purpose. They weren't just there to just watch the show, you know what I'm saying? So I like how they use the wrestlers in the audience this time around. Good job.
And just with this match, finally some heel versus face wrestling. Oh my goodness. It's here. I was shocked that they actually did heel versus faces in a tag match. And guess what? They were actual tag. They were tagging. I was like, oh, this is monumental. But I will say this though, Butcher and Blade, y'all did not tag, and one of those tags, and then it's even worse when the commentator JR says, "Oh, they don't, who's legal? They didn't even tag." That's bad when the commentators will call out, y'all not tagging. So you gotta remember to tag at a tag match when you want to come in the ring, okay? But all in all, it was a great match. Finally, great to see some tag team wrestling, some real tag team wrestling with the meaningful in AEW.
Yep.
The famous quote by Cash Willer, he said, and I quote, "This is the pinnacle of absolute wrestling."
I'll say absolute tag team wrestling because, you know, well, the reason I say that is we don't know how, when they're singles competitors, we don't know how they're going to do in AEW. So I'll say as far as tag team wrestling, but I still agree. For tag team wrestling, that's the pinnacle. They showed exactly why, you know, so many companies wanted them. I know the Young Bucks are like the premier tag team. They're the hot tag team, but can we not have just let FTR get their win and celebrated their win? Like, I know they're going to build towards, you know, going against the Elite and the Young Bucks and stuff, but let FTR have their moment, guys, okay? Please, this was their moment. You know, even a week or two after, and I get why, because, but, you know, actually I don't, because Butcher and Blader didn't interfere until they jumped the Young Bucks. So next time, there's too many times where people debut and everybody has to kind of steal that spotlight, even if it's involuntarily. Yeah, that's my biggest gripe with that match. Somehow, Dustin Rhodes and QT, the Natural Nightmares, have a tag team championship match next week. Can we start getting explanations of how that happened? Like AEW, that's one thing you guys got to do. If you're going to keep records, you know, please have them add up, because I don't understand how – nothing against Dustin and QT, but it's like, come on now. Why are we just putting them in a random tag team match? But anywho, do you guys have thoughts on the ranking system or anything like that? Because that's a big gripe for me, is if you have a ranking system, use it, please.
Yeah, I've already talked about the ranking system and how bad it is. I don't know why they keep giving random people title shots who are like last of the last. I'm like, why even have a ranking system if you're gonna be like WWE? And if somebody gonna lose 5-6 times, they automatically get a title shot. But the guy who wins, it's nothing. I don't understand it. They said they're revolution, but I don't see anything revolutionary about what they're doing. So,
I think they're just giving everyone an opportunity, but at the same time, that's not the point of a ranking system. That's not the point of having a record. So I get it. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, give opportunities, but acknowledge the ranking system, because I'm all down for everybody getting chances to shine. I want that. Build up your stars. But, guys, you got a ranking system. So I'm going to call that out if I got to call that out every week, I will call it out on the show every week until you guys fix that. So this match coming up, I didn't like it. I didn't like it for the result. It's Penelope Ford, and Nyla Rose versus Chris Statlander and our AEW Women's Champion, Hikaru Shida. Before I get into the match,
holy Shida.
Why is our newly crowned AEW Women's Champion taking a pin after she just won? Like, I know it was 2.5 weeks ago. Why is she taking the pin? Come on. I know she got hit with the belt. And don't get me wrong, Penelope Ford, that fisherman suplex that won the match, clean. It was clean. That was the best looking perfect plex that I've seen in a long time. That was a clean little move. I give her credit for it. Chris Statlander should have took the pin. I know you want to build towards Penelope Ford potentially getting a title shot since you beat the women's champion. Not the time. In my opinion, not the time. That was dumb. You know, come on, man. She's too good of and another thing, that belt. Brandy, whoever's in charge of that belt, it looks like this. Okay? Like on Nyla Rose, it looks small, but on the smaller women, it looks smaller. Make the belt bigger. I get it. It's a women's belt. Doesn't mean it can't be a little bigger, okay? Like, I had to look. Like, when she was bringing I was like this.
I think the women's belt looks fine. It looks fine on a normal female small wrestler, but Nyla Rose, man, like it's like this. It's like this and Nyla Rose. Like this.
That's what it looks like on Nyla Rose, right? Here's how it looks on Hikaru Shida. Just the belt.
Nah, man, look, it's way big.
That's
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle.
No.
I like the size of it, but I see the the way that it feels on the majority of female, it's like it's right fit because females are small, but then what about the ones who are large? Like, I really want to wonder what it looks like on Statlander. Like,
dude, it's so tiny. Like, just make it a little bigger. I don't want it to be huge like the AEW championship, but dang, that's a small belt, okay? Like, anywho, though, you guys can talk about the match. I'm pissed that Karushita took the L. I'm not a fan of that decision at all, AEW. 2 thumbs down on that one.
I got nothing else to say about the match either. To me, it was right timing. It didn't take long, but I agree. Like, that was my main issue too. Like, okay, leading up to Fyter Fest, I get it, but yeah, you pinned her too soon.
Yeah, build your champion. Not everybody knows who Hikaru Shida is, so build your champion. That way, when somebody beats her, that makes that person as a contender more legitimate because you've taken out the champion. It's simple story building, and you guys failed to do that. AEW, you guys failed that way. And Nyla Rose, look, I know the fans going to come after me for this one, okay? But I was uncomfortable, and there's not a lot in wrestling that makes me uncomfortable, but when she sat both of them, when she did this, not the suplex, but she put them on the top rope, and then she did that leg drop on both of them.
Oh, yeah.
Ouch. Okay? Ouch.
Double knee lift.
Yeah. These women have to do better with their moves, their timing, things of that nature, because it looks a little sloppy out there. And yes, it's and what I'm saying is they're doing a couple of good moves, very nice and crisp, but their movements, timing, and just like different coordination and working with others, it just doesn't look all that good. And yeah, they really have to work on that. Somebody really has to work with these women on how they look in the ring, not just moves, because that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of these guys and girls moves, but their movement in the ring doesn't look good at all. So translate well. So yeah, that's you just gotta do a little bit better with the women's matches.
Yep. Now, I want to cover this one, match of the night, guys. And I'm sorry I didn't tell you guys how.
Before we do that, there was a little small segment. Tony Hawk and Darby Allin. I'm gonna be real.
Next.
The purpose of that. I just want to say
exactly.
That.
Next.
But now, everybody have a Tony Hawk game coming out, right?
Yeah. Anywho, so dumb. That was dumb.
Did they even show the game though?
No, not at all. No. I just want to point that out. Like, what was the purpose of that? But I get it because Tony Hawk game coming out. But why was that up there? Darby Allin practicing how to land a ladder, skateboard. Okay.
Yeah. Anywho, so in the comments, can you guys spam Fizz is an idiot, okay? Because that was
no, don't spam Fizz is an idiot. Spam
Fizz is an idiot because
what was the purpose of that?
To get us into the match of the night, which is Inner Circle versus the best friends of Orange Cassidy. That is how you book heels. That is what the hell I'm talking about. The heels took the loss, but damn it, if they didn't sit there and put on the biggest beating that Orange Cassidy ever got, it was brilliant.
Oh, let's not talk about that yet.
Absolutely brilliant. Chris Jericho, Floyd, you guys are stars. That bat is a bigger star than half of the AEW talent. No offense. But damn, it was amazing. I loved it. Orange Cassidy getting beat up with a bag of oranges.
What
did Chris Jericho say about Orange Cassidy after the beat? What did he say?
Hold on. Let me get it straight. He had 2 awesome quotes. Okay, here we go. First one, all right. Now, they was explaining that was a 20-pound bag, which I don't know how you can figure out it was 20 pounds. But anyways, announcers, good job. So he put the blood oranges in the bag.
Yes.
That joint.
Yes.
And called this dude Blood Orange Cassidy. And he said, I quote, Blood
This is it.
Cassidy was just juiced. and they beat
Oh my goodness.
Cassidy,
Oh my goodness.
literally the Pope out of him. This dude, Chris Jericho, is awesome on the mic. Like, I love what he says and what he does. It's funny. Like, this dude off the mind is talented and intelligent.
In Inner Circle, Blue, I'm going to let you get this, but Inner Circle, let me tell you something. Santana, Ortiz, you guys sell like nobody else. I love your selling, okay? Freaking Trent hit a top rope tornado DDT. I think it was on the Ortiz. This guy popped up, looked into the camera, rolled his eyes back, and then he fell. I love his selling. No, Blue, shut up. No, his selling is bar none. I love it. I love it. Blue, take it away. I absolutely love that match. That's how you dominate. Let the face get the win, and then you beat on him.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Santana Ortiz's selling is way too much. It's just it's like how it's just like the Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels match. I remember that match when Shawn Michaels just overselling everything, like literally jumping up in the air for no reason.
And it's great.
It looks dumb. It looks like I'm watching
Rock versus Stone Cold.
Amazing.
Every time the Rock gets started, come on, man.
I get sick and tired of seeing like over. Okay, if you want to do it like one time, okay, fine. But every time a move gets done on you, doing some crazy that like it does not look realistic. Like,
oh boy,
I don't. And the thing that they did after the match is fine because you lost and you're a group. So yeah, you get pissed off, you beat the heck out of your opponents. I'm fine with that.
Especially if Orange Cassidy becomes serious.
Matter Jericho.
I want to see Orange Cassidy serious now.
But then Chris all matter Jericho. This man, why is he so inconsistent? First, he's a nice guy and stuff on Twitter and whatnot, but then on TV you act like a badass, and then sometimes on commentary you're nice, but then all of a sudden it's like, why are you flip flopping? Like,
he was complimenting Trent and some of the others, like saying some stuff about the faces, how they do. I was like, I'd rather you not do that, but he's one of the GOATs. I can let that go.
Man, he has to keep doing it. Like, you have to stay in character. You can't be nice to somebody and then be a heel the next minute.
But nobody fully ever stays in character anymore either. Like,
that's the problem. That's exactly the problem.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this, if I can add another highlight. So
yeah,
Cassidy, all right, I like his style because to me he has his moments where he's fast and he's showing his excellence. So Cassidy did a double hurricanrana, and then he did the Toba Cena move of the night. He did spin swinging DDT, like back to back. Like, I love when you're able to be consistent with fast moves and not just doing a move, taking a break. Like, I like those, like, I guess you want to call it, what do you call it? Like, when they're on fire? You want to call it like that in wrestling? But that was good. So, good job. Quote real quick. AEW, the best. There you go.
Like, okay, like, for Orange Cassidy's hurricanrana, can somebody make this make sense to me? Okay, just how the hell can you do a hurricanrana on two people, but you have one leg on each one of their shoulders? How do you grab them both and use momentum? Like, how do you do that?
It's simple science because they flip with them to make the move sell.
Exactly, man. How you think he does wrestling moves? He does a DDT with his hands in his pockets. Come on, man.
Nah, bro.
You just put it in the head.
That was a bad move. A double hurricanrana looks stupid. It does not make sense. It does not make sense. Nah, bro.
Can I say something real quick? Joe, I know Santana kept saying it was the best. Let me tell you what wasn't the best. That was Sammy Guevara versus Cole Cabana, okay?
That was not the best. No.
It was Ass of 9, Ass of 10, Ass 11. It was Ass of 12. it was bad. And I think they were doing this to set up Colt Cabana joining the Dark Circle. Sammy Guevara is too good to be used in a match like that for no reason. He got the win, cool, but ass, booty, cheeks, whack, lame.
Hey man, it's whack. Just like this dude has the hit me up mobile foot scooter thing.
Hey! Don't talk about the hit me up mobile. Time out. Stop. The hit me up mobile. When you watch, you ain't too far in age from getting your own hit me up mobile. So don't you be sitting there when you trying to hit him up looking for your mobile. Okay. I'm out.
By then, I'm putting a rocket on that sucker, scoot it off.
Hey, that'll be the last time you get on anything, then you gonna die. Brian Cage attacked Jon Moxley ahead of their match at Fyter Fest. Yeah, the silence says it all. Anybody have anything on it? Like, I like Jon Moxley's I like Jon Dang it. I like Jon Moxley's fire with his promos, but I think this hasn't been given enough time to build. That's the only fault to it. It just hasn't had enough time. And Brian Cage is in AEW, at least he's one-dimensional. We've seen what he can do in Impact, but one-dimensional to me so far. Taz is really what's making Brian Cage stand out at all. So Taz, keep doing what you're doing. Blue, you okay?
Got a wasp over here, man. Shoot, I ain't trying to get stung over here, man. Shoot.
But no, I agree with you. I guess utilizing the talent. So Taz wants to be, his man. But I agree with you. I'm waiting to see what Brian Cage has as one person not being part of any type of affiliation. Him doing his
right.
He did an Impact. Even what he did in Lucha Underground, like that's where he started, or that's what we saw him when it came televised, even though he was much more in other indies. But to me, I felt kind of annoyed because Jon Moxley has like this, hey, you just had to ask, or hey, I'm the man. I know I'm the man. Nobody can beat me, but if you want to, go on, let's do it. But it's like, please don't do this every single time someone literally wants to wrestle. You do it every single time so far now. So,
well, to be fair, he is the best.
Being Jon Moxley, being that funny, corny guy, don't got to be this. I'm the best kind of, which I get it, but go back to being random Jon Moxley, who everybody's like, Moxley, like, go back to that, man.
I think that works better, though, when he's not champion because he has nothing to defend. He doesn't have anything to lose like that. So, with him being champion, no, I like hey, I'm better than you. Not in a heel way, but I'm the best. This championship says I'm the best. You want to be the best? You got to take this off of me to be the best then.
No, I get it. But just one little small highlight. The whole Brian Cage suplexing him on the back of the car onto the glass. I liked it, but at the same time I didn't because literally we were sitting there staring at him the whole time. For way too long. Like I was like, to the next segment. I felt like it was going on for like 30 seconds. It was too long, man. Too long.
Like for me, Brian Cage, I got to see more of him. I don't know what he's gonna do. He was good in Lucha Underground, but like I said, he is one dimensional. But the thing that people latched on to him is because of that character in Lucha Underground and how they build characters. So, I don't know what his moveset and stuff is going to be because he's a big guy who does stuff on the top rope for some odd reason. I don't know why, but we got to see what he's going to do. And Jon Moxley, he has to grow into a character of his own still. I still feel like he's trying to be Stone Cold Steve Austin way too much. And it's just like we kind of already seen something like that before. So I want to see more of his personality come out. It's too like it's hard to believe that Jon Moxley is a tough guy. You could believe that Stone Cold's a tough guy because that's what Stone Cold actually is. Like when you meet Stone Cold, there's little difference between the Stone Cold what you see on TV and the Stone Cold you see in real life. There's very little difference. with Jon Moxley, I feel like it's a big difference from when he's on TV than in real life because come on, like it's obvious.
The thing about Jon Moxley is his wrestling style has always, outside of WWE because it was limited, it's always been tough guy style, hardcore.
But it's hardcore. It's hardcore, not tough guy.
But that's not his character. That's what I'm getting into. That's how his character should be. Like, he's not a tough guy. He's I'm going to do whatever it takes, whether my body is at risk or not, guy.
Exactly.
And his character should reflect that. Like, guys, you see what I do in the ring. Do you really want to go with a guy who will give up everything to keep
That sounds better. That sounds better.
You know what I'm saying? That should be his character. That should be his character.
Yep, I totally agree.
Yep.
I hope you're listening, man. We should tag you so you can listen to this video.
Hey, I would love to see Jon Moxley just be unstable. That's what I would love. Because how do you for people that try to take out a certain type of wrestler, how do you take out somebody that you don't know what they're gonna do and don't care? Jon Moxley, that would make a really captivating AEW champion, in my honest opinion. So think about that, AEW. You two right here, you guys cover the main event. I want to see what you guys got to say. So y'all cover the main event.
Well, before we cover the main event, brought to you by Joey Janela. What? What?
Do you got to go with Joey Janela, Waxel?
You know what I'm about to say. I'll wait for Obi Taz to say this. Sunny Kiss and Joey Janela. What's this?
I said this on Twitter. Joey Janela looks like he smells like motor oil, dog shit, and yeast infection. That's exactly what he looks like he smells like. I do not like Joey Janela. I hate him. You understand? I hate him just as much as people hate Cell in Dragon Ball Z. You don't like him.
Hey, Blue, go ahead and cover this main event, man. You've been waiting for this. Go ahead.
Oh, the main event. Let's see. Cody Rhodes, the Golden Boy, versus Mark Quinn. Like the first thing is I don't understand why Cody is a face, but he's acting like a heel in the ring. He's taunting. He's showing off his muscles, doing push-ups. He's doing heel stuff, but he's supposed to be a face. It doesn't work. It's just baffling to me that he keeps doing stuff like that. But the way they worked the match was good, though. It had great psychology. It's just that he's a face doing heel moves. He worked the leg. He was very, very aggressive with the leg.
Right.
Cody was to Mark Quinn. He was beating up Mark Quinn's leg. And throughout that, Mark Quinn's leg was hurt. But here's the thing, though. If Mark Quinn's leg is so hurt, why is he still running off the ropes? Why is he still doing Tobe Suicida? Why is he still doing that? He did three of them. And then he jumps off the ropes like twice after that. I think the first time he tried to do like he tried to jump on the rope, but then he messed up because of his knee. Yeah. But his legs are still getting beat up. How are you jumping off the rope still? You need to do something else.
That's like how he did that 540 off of the top rope outside.
Yeah, I'm like, how the heck you doing a 540, but your legs are hurt? That kind of took me out the match. It's like, okay, if somebody is really beating on your legs in real life, first of all, you're not going to be able to run. You're not going to be able to jump as high as you should. You're going to mess up, or if you do jump, you shouldn't be doing no 450s. You should be just jump off of one leg. And you should only do it once or twice. You should not do it 5 times. That took me out the match. You got to do something else. Put something else in your repertoire. And that's how I know a lot of these people are limited in AEW because they can only do one move. They're always one-dimensional. You have to do something else to get the crowd invested in your story, because that kind of took me out. Other than that, the match psychology was good, and it was a great submission win. I think the submission was a little bit too long because you messed up his knee so bad. He like you shouldn't be sitting there like and waiting to tap. should tap like that when you put that submission on.
Especially off of that missed shooting star, that hurts enough, and then your leg's already messed up.
That was a nasty submission, so you should tap right then and there. But it was so for me because of the selling.
Yeah, I have no other words to say. I agree with you. I actually made a mistake because I thought it was 2 screw-ups, but the work that Colt Cabana actually did, that was actually part of his character because he did that last week. But this slip-up, if he was injured, it turned me off to a point where it was like, okay, I know Cody Rhodes now have to support Quinn, but at the same time, I was like, I get it. He's still trying to show his talent being injured. That adrenaline is making him be able to do all these high-flying moves or to still, like, jump running, if you want to call it. But I agree, like, he should have sold it more as being more injured than the adrenaline rush is making me do all this stuff if my leg is not hurting that bad to the point where I can actually run on it. Like, no, you shouldn't. So I get it.
Yeah, because like one thing, like when I'm in the ring and I don't, and it's kind of weird, and I actually heard some other wrestlers say that they do this. When somebody is beating up on a body part, I actually think in my mind that my body part is hurt. Because I remember one time somebody was working my arm, and I started to think in my mind my arm was hurting. So it actually started hurting. So I actually was feeling on my arm, and it started hurting. And that's what you have to do when somebody is working you in the ring. You have to actually feel somebody working on the body part. You have to feel it, because if else, you're not going to sell it or anything. So that's
at least he ain't some of the WWE characters where if he's working on the right leg and the right leg is hurt, he's now
hurt. Got to grab the left leg.
Like, at least he got it right. I'm just being real with it, because I've seen it so many times happen where I'm like, hold up, he didn't injure that leg. No, he actually injured that leg, so he kept up with it. I just wish that it wasn't as if he had adrenaline, like he's now the whole body. I'm not hurting anymore. Yeah.
Yes, if you have adrenaline, you should get one big move out of that. Like, you should, like, if your legs are hurt, dive off the rope. You shouldn't be doing no 450s. You should just do a big dive off the top, and that's it. Because you just use all your adrenaline, you hurt. And then when you land, my leg, but then go for the pin. Like, you gotta make it look like something.
So, I got 3 things about this match, and it's the number one. I like that there was no fireworks and over celebration, like it was the biggest deal in the world. Like Jungle Boys lost last week, too much fireworks for a first-time defense. Thank goodness they just kept it at Cody winning, celebrating. Number 2, both times he's defended the championship, it's been against faces. I'm so happy Jake Hager came out to accept that challenge. We finally get a championship match where Cody's going to go against a heel. So now Cody's going to have to do that face roll. You know what I'm saying? To perfection. Number 3, they ended it wrong. It should have just been Jake Hager walking out on stage to signify I'm next. They did too much. The whole beatdown segment, all the people wrestling, it really just was like, guys, sometimes simple is effective. You don't always have to have a gang load of people jumping in at the end of something to make it go on. It would have been perfect to end it. Cody, hold the belt up. Jake, you look at that belt. I'm next. Show's over. So that was my gripe about the match. Because I wasn't going to talk about the match itself, but I didn't like how they ended that. Any other statements on it?
No, I agree with you. It's they seem like they're always doing something extra at the end of matches for some reason, and every Wednesday you don't have to do that. That's
right.
Just,
sometimes a little goes a longer way, you know. Guys, in the comments, okay, let us know what your match of the night was. Mine, honestly, would probably have been match of the night. What do we got? I'd say Inner Circle versus Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. I think that was my match of the night. I'd have to give the show a 3. I can't go any higher than that. It wasn't the most terrible thing I've seen, but it definitely, like I said, some things really kind of threw me off. Like, Hikaru Shida really taking that loss really upset me. And the end of AEW was just too much. So, yeah, a 3 for me. And the Inner Circle versus the Best Friends in Orange Cassidy was my match of the night.
I think I'm the same. Inner Circle versus Best Friends. I'm going to say that's the match of the night for myself as well. I'm going to give it probably a 3.1 just because I like AEW, but at the same time, it was mediocre. If I were to say that if it was this week, AEW versus last week, NXT, I would say NXT beat
Absolutely.
this week. So AEW, let's see something better next week. We got 1 minute, guys.
All right.
Yeah, I would have to give this match probably 2.8. It was it's just too iffy. A lot of things like they have to do less things. Less is more, like Neek said. And the match tonight is FTR versus the Butcher and the Blade.
I can go with it. Guys, make sure you comment at the bottom. We will see you guys for WWE SmackDown this Friday. Catch you then.
Peace.